W8VPV. Repeater. W8VPV. Repeater. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is ABA-BYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2402 with a release date of Friday, November 10th, 2023 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is the QST. Fire destroys an important part of a worldwide beacon network. There's an easier method to report RFI in Germany, and a dying Dutch satellite is looking for its final contacts. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2402 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, weekly amateur radio news and bulletin service. Now reporting from Picayune, Mississippi, here is Don Wilbanks, AE5DW.
An important guide to ionospheric conditions for hams and non-hams alike has been damaged beyond repair. It was the newest beacon in the network of the International Beacon Project of the Northern California DX Foundation and the IARU. Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV, has that story.
A wildfire destroyed one of the newest installations to the Northern California DX Foundation's International Beacon Project. A blaze in October destroyed radio beacon CS3B on the Portuguese island of Madeira off Africa's northwest coast. The CW beacon had been in operation barely a month when fire swept through, destroying the building, the radio inside, and the antenna. Replacement is expected to take some time. The HF beacon was one of several operating on 20 meters, 17 meters, 15 meters, 12 meters, and 10 meters, and was viewed as an important resource for testing HF propagation between North America and Europe. The various beacons operate by transmitting once on each of these bands every 3 minutes around the clock. No timetable was disclosed for the beacon's return to service. This is Ralph Squillaci, KK6ITV.
Amateurs in Germany now have a direct means of communication with the federal regulator BNetzA when they want to report electronic devices that have caused radio interference or are inaccurately labeled as being safe. An online form allows a report to be made with the relevant details so that the agency can more easily take action and determine if these devices are non-compliant, dangerous, or both. Customs agents and postal authorities will also be notified of imported devices that are found to be faulty, so those items can be placed on the list of banned products. The form is designed to help expedite an official response, especially with regard to interference, be it on the amateur radio frequencies or on mobile phones or broadcast radio and TV. BNetzA has provided a link to the form, which is in German. That link appears in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. India's recent test flight of its spacecraft is providing vital data to help the space agency prepare to put a crew on board within 2 years. Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, has the details.
Following the successful completion of a test flight in space, the Indian Space Research Organization has begun analyzing data and imagery from the spacecraft's crew escape system, with an eye toward having astronauts on board space flights by 2025. That would make India the 4th country to put humans in space. The Gaganyaan project's test flight on October 21st was known as the Flight Test Vehicle Abort Mission, designed to ensure that people in the capsule could in the event of an emergency. The test demonstrated that an onboard crew could be safely moved at least 1.2 miles or 2 kilometers away from the rocket in an emergency. The Indian Space Organization hopes to send a human-like robot into space next year. To prepare for a flight with a live crew of 3, the agency meanwhile has been evaluating the fitness and health of a number of Indian Air Force pilots who are likely candidates. India also hopes to establish an orbiting space station in 2035. The country last made news in space in August of this year by successfully putting a lander near the south pole of the moon. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
With Christmas on the horizon, the UK Bunkers on the Air award scheme has introduced a special set of awards in the format of an advent calendar. Here's Ed Durant, DD5LP, with more information.
bunker activators will be on the air from bunkers in the official ROC reference list from December 1st through to the 24th, and chasers can symbolically open a new bunker door each day by working that station, right up through Christmas. The Bunkers on the Air Advent Calendar Award has two parts, one for hunters or shortwave listeners and one for activators. The program runs in parallel with the Bunkers on the Air 2023 Annual Award, meaning that those taking part in both events must use two separate online trackers. To keep the season bright and even a little amusing, the multi-tiered point system for the Advent Calendar Award has such names as Santa's Little Helper all the way up to the top-scoring Super Santa. Spotting, alerting and all information about the scheme is available on the website at bunkersontheair.org. Bunkers on the Air is a rapidly growing amateur radio activity in the UK that centres around the Royal Observer Corps monitoring posts created during the Cold War era. I'm Ed Durant, DD5LP.
If you're looking for an old-fashioned QSO, get your hands on an old-fashioned radio and listen to this next report from Jack Parker, W8ISH.
If you've built yourself a vintage-style transmitter or are lucky enough to have acquired one, you're just in time for the Bruce Kelly 1929 QSO party this month. It's taking place on the 11th and 12th of November and again on the 18th through the 20th. It bears the name of Bruce, W8ACY/W2ICE, who was part of the group of amateur radio operators who founded the Antique Wireless Association in 1952. He became a silent key in 1997, 6 years after the first QSO party took place. The association is sponsoring this year's event to celebrate the glory of tubes and techniques that date back to 1929 or even earlier. The QSO party is open to anyone with an appropriate old-time style radio, whether they are an association member or not. It is, however, a CW-only event, and in addition to hearing dits and dahs set at a wide variety of speeds, operators can expect to hear the buzzing, chirping, and drifting associated with the ham radio experience of a century or so ago. So now that you've likely turned back your clocks, get ready to turn back your calendar. Additional details and a video about the vintage transmitters can be seen at the website antiquewireless.org. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
An amateur radio CubeSat that was the pride of the students who built it at the Delft University of Technology is about to deorbit, and its team wants radio operators to get involved. Again, Ed Durant, DD5LP, has the details.
In 2008, the Delphi C3 amateur radio satellite became the first Dutch university satellite to go into space. Now its journey is nearing the end, and it is expected to deorbit with re-entry to take place sometime around the 16th of November. The CubeSat team would like to present an award certificate to the ham or shortwave listener who makes the last contact with Delphi C3 and provide its last telemetry frame. The telemetry downlink is on 145.867 MHz, 1200 baud AX25 BPSK. Radio operators may use the Rascal software, the SatNox network, or simply send decoded telemetry frames with reception time and location. Those may be emailed to the email address in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Ed Durant, DD5LP.
Some of the youngest candidates for amateur radio just got a little boost from the Radio Communications Foundation, a small independent charity that was established by the Radio Society of Great Britain. Jeremy Bucci for NJH tells us how they're helping.
Prospective candidates for the foundation license who are full-time students and younger than 21 may be eligible for assistance from the Radio Communications Foundation, which is offering to subsidise a number of the examinations. Foundation exams in the UK cost £32.50. According to the Radio Society of Great Britain, some teachers last year identified this fee as an obstacle for students. The foundation told the RSGB that to help those with the greatest financial concerns, the first group of 15 exams will be funded for qualifying applicants. Every 3 months thereafter, the foundation Foundation will fund another group of 15 exams in much the same way. Any funds not used will simply roll into the next quarter. Meanwhile, applicants are encouraged to use the simple online form and to read other details about the subsidies at commsfoundation.org. That's comms with double M. Applications require a statement of support from the parent or guardian about the benefit the applicant would receive as a result of the funding. The Foundation is hoping more amateurs will consider making gifts to the RCF so the program can increase the number of exams funded annually. This is Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
It's time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K7 MMA repeater in Spokane, Washington, on Fridays at 5 p.m. local time. The Straight Key Century Club is holding a contest among its members, but for this competition, you don't need your key. Just a sense of style, as we hear from Randy Sly, W4XJ.
If you're a member of the Straight Key Century Club, there are a few ways you can get ready for the SKCC anniversary and Straight Key Month being held in January 2024. You can, of course, practice and train at home to work on your sending and your copying, and perhaps even plan on being one of the operators for the K3Y event. If your talents extend to holding a pencil, pen, or even a paintbrush, you might want to submit a design to be considered for the official 2024 QSL card. The club is once again holding a contest to select a design, and SKCC members get the final say. They'll be voting on their top picks in mid-December, and will be able to view all the qualifying submissions displayed on the SKCC website. Although only the most popular design will end up on the QSL card, many of the others will appear in the SKCC's print calendar. The club is also inviting members to resubmit updated versions of designs submitted earlier that weren't in the final pick. There are certain design guidelines and specifications that need to be followed, however. Please visit the SKCC website for detailed instructions on how to display your design and incorporate the required text elements. Designs are due no later than the 14th of December.
What would you do if you had 7 days to set aside for nothing but contacts in CW? Jeremy Booth, G4NJH, answers that question for us now.
The Essex CW Amateur Radio Club is encouraging CW operators to take up a special. Give yourself a week to contact as many other hams as you possibly can. The objective isn't to score points, but to make real contact. Perhaps an extended exchange instead of a mere signal report, or better still, a long rag chew. Organisers are stressing that this is not a contest. The activity is being held between the 13th and the 19th of November and is taking place, as always, in the spirit of friendship. The club is extending a special welcome to QRS operators. If you hear the call signs GX1FCW or G8CW, make an extra effort to log a contact. Those are the club's own call signs. Like everyone else, these operators will be calling CQECW. A list of the bands being used, along with other details about this annual event, can be found on the club website at essexcw.uk. Be sure to click on the tab that says Activity Week. This is Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
In the world of DX, listen for Vaclav OK6RA operating holiday style as FG/OK6RA from Guadeloupe until the 27th of November. This is IOTA number NA102. He'll operate CW, SSB, and FT8 on 40 through 10 meters and possibly 6 meters. His main activity will be during the CQ Worldwide DX CW contest, QSL via his home call. Listen for Kazu M0CFW. We'll use the call sign 3Bravo9/M0CFW from Rodrigues Island, IOTA number AF017, from the 19th of November to the 1st of December. He'll be using the call sign 3Bravo9 Whiskey in the CQ Worldwide DX-CW contest. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Ken, LA7GIA, and Shawnee, HA5DDX, are active as 708AD and 708AE, respectively, until the 16th of November from Socotra Island, IOTA number AF028 in Yemen. Listen for them on 160 through 10 meters. Shawnee is operating SSB while Ken is concentrating on CW. There's a possibility of SO2R Light FT8 using WSJTX Fox and Hound or MHSV. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Shabu M0KRI will be on the air as 9 Lima 5 Mike from Freetown, Sierra Leone between the 24th of November and the 5th of December. Watch QRZ.com for developing information about how to QSL. And we end this week's report with a special movie. No, we're not actually going to show you the movie, of course, but we are going to tell you why it might have plenty of appeal for those of us who understand the power of radio. Neil Rapp, WB9BPG, has that story.
If you watch 4 of the credits at the end of each episode of one miniseries now running on Netflix, you'll be able to quickly learn who wrote the script, who directed the cast, who produced the drama, and of course, who played the roles on screen. Every name is featured prominently at the end of each of the 4 installments of All the Light We Cannot See. The film is based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning World War II era novel by Anthony Doerr. What may not be apparent to most movie viewers is the fact that 2 of the film's biggest stars are uncredited, unnamed, and largely unacknowledged. That is true at least outside the framework of this intense wartime storyline. The anonymous players are the pair of shortwave radios that ultimately unite the 2 major protagonists, a blind French girl and a young German soldier. In Nazi-occupied France, the girl uses the forbidden medium of radio to transmit coded messages to help the French resistance and the Allied forces. The boy is an orphan and an electronics genius who is conscripted reluctantly into the German military. Both had grown up in their respective corners of Europe listening to the same shortwave radio program, one hosted by a professor who spoke of science, truth, beauty, and hope. In this setting, as the girl transmits her messages from her ravaged French city, and the boy attempts to track her down amid the wreckage, the power of those 2 radios cannot be defined by wattage alone. The radios define the love both share for something intangible and precious they are both seeking. Those same radios drive the drama to its inevitable conclusion, using the light none of us can see, the electromagnetic spectrum itself. This is Neil Rapp, WB9BPG.
Do you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in? Send it on. Now, we're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we would like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. Meanwhile, if you're feeling even a little bit poetic, visit our website and learn more about the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Use the entry form on our website, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku. And be sure to check out our previous winners. But thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, Antique Wireless Association, the ARRL, Bunkers on the Air, CQ Magazine, David Behar, K7DB, the Essex CW Amateur Radio Club, the FCC, 425DX News, the IARU, ICQ Podcast, Netflix, QRZ.com, Radio DARC, the Radio Society of Great Britain, Roger Egan, VA3EGY, shortwaveradio.de, the Straight Key Century Club, the Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. So for now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUD at the News Desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW in Picayune, Mississippi, saying 7-3. And as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights are reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Set to start in about 10 minutes.
W8VTV. Repeater. W8VTV. Repeater. TL110.9.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night VHF UHF Net. My name is John, and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only, 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we're done. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will repeat the announcements and then give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band exploration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. The approximate frequencies are posted on our webpage, www.cfarc.org. And tonight we will be on 10 meters at approximately 28.360 megahertz upper sideband. Please join us if you have the equipment. Here are the announcements. Okay, this evening there was a volunteer exam session. It's probably all complete now. Let's see. Then on the 22nd, November 22nd, is our final business meeting of the year, but it will mostly have a continuation of a movie that we started last week. So, and there'll be snacks and maybe coffee again. So, again, that's next Wednesday, November 22nd. The fun starts at 7:30 p.m. and that will be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ on Broad Boulevard, and get to the parking lot by going on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard. There's a sign up now on our website for the Christmas dinner, which is on December 6th, and that will be at the New Era Cafe. On Thanksgiving Day, there is a home run for the homeless, and we need operators to observe the runners on the course. And so send an email message to Artie if you can help him out with that. The email address is n8rka@currently.com. So that's n8rka@currently.com. I think that's all that I have in a way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club.
Charlie 8 X-ray Oscar.
Go ahead, Vince.
It's the usual. It's just since the next meeting is right before Thanksgiving and most people don't care. But anybody that wants to get articles into the newsletter, they got to remember the end of the month and just get them in there, and I will put them out for you for December. Other than that, that's all I have, John. Thanks for running the net. This is Alpha Charlie 8 X-ray Oscar.
Thanks, Vince, and I'll probably repeat that at the end of the net. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. I'll take 5, and I take them one at a time.
W8EZT, in and out tonight, John. I'm shopping.
Okay, Frank, did you send a message to Artie?
Yes, I did. And in fact, when I was waiting for the VE exam, he was calling you on the repeater. I don't know if he made it through to you or not, but yes, I did, and I confirmed Artie did get it.
Okay, no, I didn't have the radio on. Okay, thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Will you be on 10 meters this evening?
Yes, I should be home by then. W8EZT, back to net.
Okay, very good. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
WA3JAT.
WA3JAT, I have you. Another one?
November 8, November Hotel, Mark in Akron, in and out.
Okay, Mark in Akron, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
Charlie Bye-Bye, Chris, Cadillac Hill, Akron.
John, in and out this evening.
Okay, there was a little bit of a polyp. I got Chris N8ACP, and then was that you, Brian, KFHE, in and out this evening?
Yes, sir. KFHE. Good evening, John. In and out.
Okay, Brian, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in. Let's see. Another check-in, please.
K8HMS.
K8HMS, I have you, Steve. And let's see. A couple more. Go ahead.
KE8KBI, in and out.
KE8KBI, in and out. I have you. Ron, thanks. And let's see. Another check-in, please.
KE8ULA Leo.
KE8ULA Leo, I have you. And let's see. Let's go with one more check-in.
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo Keith in Uniontown, KE8TQR.
KE8TQR Keith, I have you. Okay, let's go back up to the top. That would be Jim, WA3JAT. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
WA3JAT. Good evening, John, and everyone on the net. Kind of a quiet day here. Don't have really much to report other than that it was a quiet day, which I guess isn't all that bad. We need those once in a while. 73s, and talk to you later. WA3TV, WA3JAT.
Okay, very good, Jim. Yes, it's nice to have a quiet day every now and then. Very good, thanks. Okay, next is Chris, N8ACP. Go ahead, Chris, with your comments.
Good evening there, John, and all on the net. Thanks for running it. Hopefully the VE test session went well this evening. I think there was one. And let's see, report on the HF bands. 10 meters has been smoking. I worked Cameroon and Labrador, and geez, a bunch of other ones, Belize, Brazil, too many to list. Also worked the USS Cobia submarine over Veterans Day weekend, and it was pretty neat because I told them that we activated the COD, the USS COD, there for the museum ships on the air event, and the very next guy to check in after me said that he was a crew member on the USS COD. And I really, really should have written down his call sign because that would have been a neat contact to make. I didn't want to butt in and say up 5, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, 10 meters is smoking. 15 is very good. 17 is actually very good. Worked Cameroon and Costa Rica on 17 as well. So that's all the news from me. I'll turn it back to Net Control from November 8 Alpha Charlie Papa 73.
Yeah, very good, Chris. You're accomplishing a lot there, and that's pretty cool about that contact there. Okay, let's see. Next is Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments.
Hey, hi, John. Just before I go, okay, I'm on the 440 side.
Okay, you're dropping out a little bit every now and then, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried to good evening, everybody. Good to hear you. And not much going on. Just enjoying this weather. And enjoying a Browns win, so I guess that's about it. Hopefully,
Okay, Steve, very good, and we'll be on 10 meters at 9:30, 28.360 megahertz upper sideband, so maybe we'll hear you there too. Okay, thanks for checking in, and like I said, maybe we'll hear you later. So next is KE8ULA. Leo, go ahead with your comments.
Thanks, John. I'm basically in and out tonight. I just wanted to check in and say hello to everyone on the net, KE8ULA.
Okay, Leo, very good. Thanks, and 73, have a good evening. Okay, let's see, Ron, KE8KVI was in and out. So the bottom of the list here is Keith, KE8TQR. Go ahead, Keith, with your comments.
W8BPV, KE8TQR. Good evening, John. Thanks for taking my check-in and running the net tonight. Good evening to everyone else on the net. Good to hear everybody. Hope everybody's Monday was wonderful, and I hope the rest of your week goes just as well. Not a lot of traffic for the net tonight. Just wanted to stop in and help get the numbers up. I've done some more grounding on the tower, so that's coming along quite nicely. Hopefully, I think we're going to have another good day tomorrow, probably one Wednesday, so I should have the grounding finished up in the next day or so. And whatever I don't have all buttoned up, I'll probably take care of this weekend. It'll be nice as well. Anyway, like I said, hope everyone's week goes really well. Be safe out there on the highways and byways. Take care. Watch over each other, and let's just try to have peace and harmony. Not much of that around anymore. Anyway, I'll send it back to you, John, in Net Control. Fine job again tonight. This is KE8TQR saying 73, everyone.
Okay, Keith, 73, and sounds like you're making good progress on that grounding project. So we'll say 73 to you. And so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
PU.
K8PU, I have you, Larry. Another one, please.
UOL, Rob Helmick, in and out.
Okay, and Talmadge there, Talmadge, I have you in and out, thanks. Another check-in, please.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Golf Delta, in and out.
KE8WGD, I have you in and out, thanks for checking in. 73, and have a good evening. Another one, please. Okay, we'll go up to Larry here. What's new? What's going on over there, Larry? You have that sun lamp on?
That didn't work too good, so I gave up on it. But actually, John, nice weather here. Fine weather. I guess you noticed that on your walk. And I've been out cleaning up leaves and getting preparations for the Christmas decorations, things that needed to get done. And I was thinking, boy, I'm going to be doing this in the cold year because, you know, leaves are still coming down. But, hey, this is working out great. You can't beat this weather. They used to talk about Indian summer and stuff, all that stuff, but this is Cuyahoga Falls fall, and we'll take it. I don't have anything exciting, John. Just be around for a 10-meter net here and catch you over there. So once more, compliment Vince for the newsletter. Nice job he does on that, and catch you on 10 meters, 9:30. So back to you. W8VPV, K8PU.
Yeah, very good, Larry. Yeah, that newsletter also includes a link for signing up for the Christmas dinner. So it's also on the website, but I saw it first in the newsletter, so very good. Yeah, we'll listen for you on 10 meters there. Okay, KE8WGD was in and out, so and so was KE8UOL. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. Well, I guess it's going to be a light evening here, so I'll repeat the announcements and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, so let's see. On November 22nd is our last business meeting of the year, and it will also have party time as we watch part 2 of the movie that we watched part 1 of last Wednesday. So that's on November 22nd, and it will also be on Zoom. So that's 7:30 on November 22nd, and in person it's at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard. You get to the parking lot. The parking lot is south of Broad Boulevard on 2nd Street. And then December 6th is our Christmas dinner, and like I mentioned earlier, there's a link in the newsletter to sign up for that Christmas dinner, and there's also a link on our website, www.cfarc.org. On November 23rd, Thanksgiving Day, there is a home run for the homeless, and Artie needs volunteers for the course to operate radios while observing runners. You know, if anybody needs assistance, we can call that in to the net control. So get in contact with Artie at his email, which is n8rka@currently.com. That's November 8 Romeo Kilo Alpha at currently.com. Again, that's on Thanksgiving Day morning, but you'll be home well before 12, or thereabouts, close to 12. So he needs some more volunteers so that there's enough radios on the course. And send your articles to newsletter editor at cfarc.org before the end of the month, so that they can get in the December issue. So again, that's newsletter editor at cfarc.org. It's one word, newsletter editor. Let's see here. I believe that that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins.
K8WTK.
K8WTK. Go ahead, Bill.
Good evening, John, and everybody on the net. This is Bill in Talmadge, K8WTK. Not much going on tonight. We've been still fighting the leaves, and I think we're about done. One interesting thing, we went to a little get-together tonight for my father-in-law, who has retired from the Park Advisory Board in Stowe after, I can't remember how many exact years, but it's around 30 years of being a volunteer on the Park Advisory Board. So we had a little bit of, he didn't want much of a fuss, so we had a little bit of cake and some punch. And that was it. But long time of volunteering there in Stowe. So back to net. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, very good. Well, that sounds like fun. And do you think you'll be checking in on 10 meters this evening?
Sure do.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'll be the net control station. Okay, so we'll listen for you then. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Okay, there was a pile-up there. I thought I heard YIR. Go ahead with your call sign and name.
Yeah, roger that, John. KE8YIR, Marcus.
Okay, great. Go ahead with your comments.
I'll make it short and sweet. I'm pulled out of the basement on 440 up to getting out.
gun ourselves, so a little crazy, but we'll get through it, and glad to be on the net tonight. 73 to all, this is KE8YIR.
Okay, very good. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, was there somebody else in there too? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
W8KFW.
W8KFW. Go ahead with your comments.
Yeah, this is W8KFW, Carl. Just got out of the K-Cars meeting and on my way home.
Okay, very good. Do you have 10-meter equipment at home?
Yeah, I got a 10-meter full of dipole on my 7300, just sitting there waiting for me.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll be on 28.360 megahertz upper sideband starting at 9:30, so maybe we'll hear you there, Carl. Over.
I'll definitely try to make it. We'll talk to you soon. I got to keep an eye on traffic here. So I'll say my 7-3. Back to net.
Okay, very good, Carl. Thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening, and maybe we'll hear you on 10 meters. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Last call for check-ins.
Copy. Kilo, Echo, 8, Uniform, India, Bravo, KE8, UIB, John in Maslin.
KE8, UIB, John in Maslin. Go ahead with your comments. This is John, WO3X here.
WO3X from KE8, UIB. Good evening. Just want to chime in here as I was playing some radio and stuff, and just wanted to catch the net real quick, chime in and say hello to everybody on this Monday evening. I hope everybody's week is starting off good. And with that, this is Kilo Echo 8, Uniform India Bravo. And I'm going to hand this back over to Net Control. 7-3, y'all.
Okay, thanks, John, for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John, WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, we will be on 28.360 megahertz upper sideband starting at 9:30 for the Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor band exploration net. Okay, in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 18 check-ins, counting myself, and return the repeater to normal, customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9 o'clock p.m. local time. 7-3.
W8VPV. Repeater.
K88WTK. Check. K88WTK. 1, 2, 3, 4.
See what nonsense is in store for today.
John.
Russ, WRNC.
Is it Wi-Fi, or are you connected to hard cable to the internet?
Well, the way I've been doing it is, because I just moved, I haven't gotten Time Warner or whatever their Spectrum or whatever the thing sucks. I've been trying to stay away from it, so I was just using my phone and tethering it, and that worked great until today. Like until about an hour ago, and then all of a sudden it quit working. I've restarted the computer, I've restarted the phone, I'm not sure why it's not working.
And who's your provider?
It's T-Mobile, Metro PCS.
Well, it just depends. Sometimes they'll limit your data in a certain amount of time period, and they'll just shut your hotspot off.
They might be doing that. I have not used the hotspot. It's straight hardline tethering, but yeah, they might have cut it off. I'm not sure. I pay for the highest plan they've got, so I'm surprised that happened. Although, the cluster probably uses a decent amount of bandwidth when I leave it running.
Yeah, well, I'd reboot your phone and reboot the computer and try it again. I'm gonna run upstairs for a second. My wife just walked in with my granddaughter. I heard the door shut. But I'm here, 36 p.m. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Roger. I'll try and do it again. We'll see what happens. I'm also going to reboot the radio. I don't think that's got anything to do with it. Anyway, I got to go downstairs anyways, refill that. ACP.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday Night Band Explorer Net. My name is John and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep us updated about club happenings. The Band Explorer Net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m. local time, preceded by the VHF UHF Net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. The frequency of the Band Explorer Net is on our website on the calendar, www.cfarc.org. When checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you are checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for officers or members who have special information for the net. Then I will take check-ins on this net. I'll just take one at a time. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcement and then give one last call for check-in, and then close the net. Okay, here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be on Wednesday, November 22nd at 7:30 p.m. And in person, it will be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard. You get to the parking lot, which is south of Broad Boulevard on 2nd Street. And it will also be on Zoom. And so what we will have is some business, but we will also be seeing part 2 of a movie that we started last week. And there should be refreshments there too for that for that event there. Now, in the newsletter, you may have seen a link to sign up for our Christmas dinner, which is on December 6th at the New Era Cafe. Also, that link is on our website at www.cfarc.org. So click on that and put on there the number of people attending, so that we have some idea of how many are going to attend, so we can inform the New Era Cafe. And then the next day, not the next day, but Thanksgiving Day, in the morning is the Geneseret Home Run for the Homeless. If you can help Artie out by operating your radio along the course somewhere, then send him an email message at n8rka@currently.com. So phonetically, I'll give the call sign November 8, Romeo Kilo Alpha at currently.com, and I'll spell that currently.com. Let's see here then. Like I said, there's a link on the website for the December 6th Christmas dinner. And regarding articles for the newsletter, be sure to send them in before the end of November, so that Vince can put them into the newsletter in a timely manner. So send your articles to newslettereditor@cfarc.org. So I think that's all that I have in a way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for officers or members who have items of special interest for the club. Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-in.
WA3JAT.
WA3JAT. Go ahead, Jim, with your comments.
Yeah, very good. Of course, nothing's happened since the 2-meter net, but I did think of something that happened the other day that was interesting. The TX7L, the Marquesas expedition, was on 10-meter FM, and I was able to work them on that 10-meter FM, which is very unusual to work a de-expedition using the FM mode, but that was quite a thrill to work that one. W8VPV, WA3JAT.
Okay, yeah, that's something to do it on FM. Yeah, very good. Thanks for that, and thanks for checking in. 73, have a good evening, and hope to see you at the meeting and party next week. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-in.
KPU.
K8PU, Larry. What's going on over there?
Well, John, we're about a mile apart. Probably about the same thing that's going on over there. Yeah, nice weather. That's all I can comment on. A little reprieve here before winter, and glad to get it. So, you get out and do your walk today and enjoy it. Suck it up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I go every day.
Yeah. Even when it gets ugly out, I know you do. You ever go to the net?
Yeah. I if I'm down that way, I stop off there, and I do some. I use the weight machine, and then I continue on my walk.
Okay. Yeah, Linda and I get down there a little bit in the wintertime. I know Bruce goes there and some of the guys, but never see them there, but we pop in there. If the weather gets too bad to be out wandering around on the streets, we pop in. Okay, John, let's you get on to the net. Good job on the net there, buddy, and we'll catch you next week, and also meeting next week. Comes around pretty quick again. Back to you, W8VPV, K8PU.
Yeah, Larry, on one of my walks last week, I saw Dawn Walters. Maybe it was the week before last. And then I stopped off at the Nat there yesterday when I was on my walk over in that area. And when I was leaving, he was just getting started. So I saw him again there. So he commented that I had warmed the equipment all up for him. Over?
Yeah, well, that's good. One of our daughter's girlfriends, well, actually, Linda's sister's friend, well, Linda's friend too. Her daughter used to date him years ago when they were quite young. And, of course, now they're older folks, there's nothing to do with that. But, yeah, she dated Don Waters, like 30 years ago or something. Okay, John, have a good one. We'll catch you next week. W8VPV, KPU.
Okay, very good, Larry. Yeah, see you next week. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-in. N8ACP, Chris, what's going on there?
Well, you're sounding good. Everybody's sounding good so far tonight. You're at 7 here on top of Cadillac Hill, and in between the UHF net. This one I was trying to get Timor Leste. There's a bunch of great DX positions out there. A couple in Africa, Timor Leste, of course, is Oceania to the north of Australia. But either I couldn't hear them or they couldn't hear me, one of the two. So, anyways, there's a lot to get DX out there. That's all the news for me. Back to Net Control from November 8th, ACP.
Okay, it's very good. Well, that was quite a contact that you reported on there during the VHF UHF net, so congratulations there. Okay, 7-3, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-in. KE8YIR, in and out. Thanks for checking in. 70, have a good evening. Another check-in, please. K8HMS. Good evening, Steve. You're sounding good here. Go ahead.
Okay, John. Yeah, almost forgot about the 10 meter net, but yeah, good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land. Thanks for running both nets. So nothing much changed since the 2 meter net, but just glad to jump in and give you another one for the numbers. And oh boy, being the walker this year, it's been great weather, man, for walking and stuff. I've been doing some walking and yard work, and it's been great. So anyway, back to you, WAPTV, KHMS.
Yeah, very good, Steve. Yeah, it has been good. Good for walking and good for raking up the leaves. What I do is, my friend from where I used to work gives us, he set this up with several of us from where we used to work. He gives us bags, and then we rake the leaves. We fill the bags up with leaves, and then he comes around and picks them up. So, like yesterday, he came and picked up 27 bags, and he was going to get 83 bags over in Fairlawn, or he did get 83 bags in Fairlawn, and then after picking up the 27 bags from here, he was going to go over Fairlawn and get some more. So then he puts those leaves on his garden there. So yeah, the weather's been real good for me to rake the leaves. And what's nice about that is that I can do it when I want to, rather than having to wait till it's close to the time that the city's going to come around and vacuum them up with their equipment. And so it actually makes it easier for me. So 73 there, Steve, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-in.
K8WTK.
K8WTK, what's going on there, Bill?
Well, since 2 meter, not a whole lot. But would like to tell you about something we did here. With the sun going down so much earlier, K8WU, if you're still listening, you might appreciate this. Everything seems so dark winter time. You have a lot of paneling in the dining room. It makes it seem so dark this time of year. So I took out the warm white LEDs that were in the ceiling light fixtures and put in daylight. 5200K, or whatever, LED, that 800 lumens, right, nice and bright, daylight, blue-white daylight, and it makes quite a difference. Everything seems to be feels a little brighter, a little more like daylight, if you will. And I noticed over the years when I was working when I would go into work in the dark, home in the dark, that working down in the basement with my Marlin cranes living in the basement, I had daylight light bulbs in the 60s down there, but the colors that you were looking at were correct, more like sunlight. And you feel better after spending about an hour under that light. So changing these bulbs seems to make a bit of a difference. So we'll leave them in there till springtime, till we get more natural light and see how it works out. Back to net, W8VCV, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill. Yeah, that sounds pretty good there. The lighting that makes it seem less like winter time. So that sounds like a good idea there. Okay, Bill. Thanks for telling us about that. And 73. Have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for more check-ins. I'm gonna go to the Yagi antenna and point it towards the Ravenna there to see if we can get, let's see, who was that? Carl W8 KFW. So hold on, I'm going to change antennas. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for check-ins. Okay, I got November 8. Go ahead.
November 8, Romeo Kilo Alpha.
November 8, Radio Kilo Alpha. Wait a minute. That's not the right phonetics. It's November 8, really kind of amateur, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Can you hear me better on this antenna than the vertical I was using?
Well, most of our guys, it's going to sound the same.
Oh, okay. Frank mentioned that after the volunteer exam session that you were calling me on the VHF on the repeater there, over.
Yep, yes, I was.
Did you get some more volunteers to send you an email message?
I think I have enough now.
Okay, very good. And let's see if you can. Are you going to come to the meeting next Wednesday?
No, I got something else I got to do.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Are you going to send me the papers or the file to print, over?
Yeah, it'll be the same like what I've always said. It was like a picture of the map with the names and everything else on it.
Okay, it's just one page, or is it two?
I think it's going to be one page.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so send me that file, and then I'll be able to tell how many to print out by the number of people on there. So very good. So I'm glad you got enough people for that.
Yeah, no problem. Tell me something, John. Tell me which microphone sounds different, okay? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, over.
They both sounded the same.
Okay, here's a different one. 123-321, over.
Oh, okay. This is way louder.
Okay, then I think the other one, it's got to be set up again. I haven't used the other ones like a desk mic.
Yeah. With that second one there, you're almost 10 over 9 here.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, it needs tuned also.
Yeah, it really increased your power.
Oh, really? Okay. How's this one?
That's okay. Is that a third one?
No, it's the hand mic. I just switched the antenna.
Oh, okay. Well, is that the same as the second mic that you were testing? Is that the same mic?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, the signal stayed the same.
Okay. What about the audio?
Well, on that second one there, it was louder and less muffled.
Okay. All right, that'll work.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot clearer than the first one.
Okay, John, that's what I wanted to find out.
Okay, very good. Yeah, this is working out great for that home run for the homeless. And so with that, I'll say 73 to you, Artie, and have a good evening.
All right, John, we'll say 73 to you also, and we'll chat with you later. N8RKA.
Okay, very good. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. Okay, I'm going to go back to the vertical antenna here. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-in.
Alpha Charlie X-ray Astra.
Oh, good evening, Vince. Yeah, I announced about the newsletter there to get the articles in. Over.
Very good, John, very good. I just have to reboot my radio here. Every now and again, the Flex decides it doesn't want to work, so right now it's working fine. Anyway, I just wanted to check in and give you one for the numbers.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Vince. Yeah, we got pretty many here. You're number 8, so that's pretty good for this net. So thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-in. Okay, not hearing any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-in. Okay, so on November 22nd, that's Wednesday, November 22nd, is our last business meeting of the year. And so besides the business, we will also do some partying there. We're going to watch part 2 of the movie that we watched part 1 of last Wednesday, and there'll be special refreshments there for that. Okay, and it will also be on Zoom. So in person, you go to the Pilgrim United Church of Christ on 130 Broad Boulevard, Cuyahoga Falls, and you get to the parking. The parking lot is south of Broad Boulevard on 2nd Street. And again, that's 7:30. It will be both in person and on Zoom. Let's see. And then in the newsletter and also on our website at www.cfarc.org, is a link to sign up for the Christmas dinner. It will be on December 6th at the New Era Cafe. So fill out that form there so that we can tell how many are going to attend that, so we can inform the restaurant. Okay, and like I mentioned to Vince there, and he mentioned during the VHF UHF net, get your articles in before the end of the month. The end of the month will come a little extra quick because we have that holiday there, and so get them to Vince there before the end of the month, and they go to newsletter editor at cfarc.org. Newsletter editor is one word. Okay, let's see. I think that's all that we have in the way of announcements. Artie said he has enough volunteers now for the home run for the Homa, so we're in good shape there. So with that, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-in. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-in. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this Band Exploration net or Band Explorer net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be on or about 7.187 megahertz. That's a 40-meter band, and that will be lower sideband. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal and customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:59 p.m. local time with 9 check-ins, counting myself. 73